The erosion of trust in our democratic system is accelerating. This crisis, unwanted by the British public, is fueled by a political class failing to prioritize the safety and security of ordinary citizens. Businesses are scaling back, halting recruitment, and even fleeing the UK, citing a government incapable of fostering a stable economic environment. Every Labour government in history has left office with higher unemployment than when it entered, and this one seems determined to break all previous records for speed. Labour is in a state of complete crisis. The British economy is contracting, businesses are abandoning the country, and ministers are resigning. Keir Starmer's response? More empty promises. Rachel Reeves, Labour's shadow chancellor, dodges questions about potential tax increases, leaving the public to speculate about the true cost of a Labour government. Their pre-election promises of fiscal responsibility ring hollow. Instead, the signs point to a significant tax increase. While Reeves obfuscates, businesses are already struggling. Job losses are mounting, and the economy is shrinking. Thousands of jobs have been cut in the last quarter alone. Major corporations are downsizing their UK operations or threatening to leave entirely, and small businesses are fighting for survival. Higher taxes stifle investment and growth, impacting every sector. The trajectory suggests an impending economic crisis, more business closures, widespread unemployment, and less money in everyone's pockets. The question isn't if taxes will rise under Labour, but how much. Income tax, business rates, expect increases across the board. Hard-working Britons will bear the brunt. Starmer's inaction exacerbates the problem. His promises of growth, jobs, and prosperity remain unfulfilled, replaced by stagnation, unemployment, and uncertainty. He's gambling with the nation's future, and the stakes are high. This isn't simply bad luck or the result of global trends. It's a direct consequence of Labour's policies and Starmer's leadership. And speaking of leadership, let's examine Starmer's latest deception. Starmer announced a £10 billion investment from Blackstone, boasting a record-breaking show of confidence and 4,000 new jobs. The reality, however, is far different. Official planning documents reveal that the actual number of full-time equivalent jobs at the Blackstone site will be approximately 400, a tenfold exaggeration. While peak construction employment might reach 1,200, these are temporary positions that will vanish upon project completion. This isn't an isolated incident. Starmer's claim that the £63 billion investment summit would create tens of thousands of jobs is equally dubious, given his track record. This blatant inflation of job numbers raises serious questions about the credibility of his economic promises. How can the public trust his claims when he's willing to inflate figures by 1,000%? This £10 billion jobs lie is a disaster for Starmer and Labour, revealing a prioritisation of political points over the well-being of working people. This pattern of exaggeration extends beyond the Blackstone deal. Starmer's list of U-turns on Brexit, immigration, and taxes is extensive. His pre-election stances differ significantly from his current policies. This inconsistency erodes public trust, fostering cynicism and skepticism. Labour support is plummeting, even trailing behind Nigel Farage's Reform UK party, a stark indicator of Starmer's damaged credibility. The consequences of Starmer's broken promises extend beyond political frustration. They impact economic prospects and the UK's international relationships. As trust in the government wanes, so does stability. But the damage goes deeper. A silent exodus is underway. British businesses are leaving, and the reasons are alarming. Ruurt SS, CEO of food giant Plays, warns that Britain risks becoming uninvestable. This isn't just an isolated opinion. It's a warning from a major player in the UK business world. The British Chambers of Commerce, BCC, paints an equally grim picture for SMEs, citing rising costs and excessive red tape as major obstacles to investment. Rachel Reeves's budget, dubbed the biggest tax increase in history, with £40 billion in new levies, has enraged businesses, threatening job losses and closures. Companies are abandoning the UK, potentially leading to a shrinking economy and a massive drop in business investment. Experts draw parallels to countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe, where disastrous government policies triggered capital flight and economic collapse. Businesses are fleeing due to a lack of confidence in the government's ability to create a business-friendly environment. The constant policy changes, tax hikes, and red tape make the UK less attractive. This affects everyone. When businesses leave, they take jobs, investment, and economic growth with them. Starmer's policies are directly impacting ordinary Britons' wallets. His pension policies are particularly cruel, as exemplified by the case of Puckridge, a 99-year-old World War II veteran who lost £60,000 of her pension after moving to Canada. Her pension remains frozen at £72.50 a week, a stark contrast to the £169.50 she would receive in the UK. Starmer's refusal to meet with her is a slap in the face. This frozen pension policy affects nearly 500,000 British pensioners living abroad, highlighting the government's disregard for its most vulnerable citizens. Starmer's recent speech at Pinewood Studios, intended as a premiership relaunch, was widely panned as a meaningless performance. He dodged crucial issues like immigration, further fueling public discontent. His 5 months in office have been marked by panic and a lack of vision, raising concerns about his competence and its potential impact on national security. His reset has failed spectacularly. Behind the scenes, questionable connections between Labour and shady characters are emerging. Our investigation reveals questionable funding sources, potentially exploiting legal loopholes and raising serious concerns about foreign influence. The potential conflicts of interest are alarming. If Starmer is making decisions based on donors rather than the best interests of Britain, it undermines the integrity of our democracy. The evidence suggests a web of offshore accounts, suspicious transfers, and undocumented meetings. Starmer has much to explain. Labour's internal struggles are escalating, with MPs openly criticising Starmer and plotting against him. His approval ratings are among the lowest in recent history, fueling speculation about a potential leadership challenge. Critics, including former Labour MP Tom Harris, deem his leadership a total disaster. The latest polls show only 25% of Brits approve of his performance, even lower than the Conservative support. This perfect storm of economic woes, broken promises, and policy U-turns has eroded public trust. The calls for his resignation are growing louder, both from within and outside the party. The future of the Labour Party, and indeed the country, hangs in the balance. Britain needs a change, and it needs it now.